Good morning, Vande Matram. Welcome all of you. So this is the time for us to see the exploration of the ideal mind. So we are going to see how Sopati explores the region, the realm of the heavens of the ideal. That is on book 2, Canto 12. Beautiful topic. It is of course a small one, but it contains a lot of beautiful things. Logically, we'll find there. Everything has been contented here. So the heavens of the ideal. Here we are going to find the exploration of Asapati on of ideal mind. So heavens of the ideal we are going to see. It's a nice topic. Of course, we can find, we can see, we can observe. Of course, we can enjoy it. Almost we are going to the concluding part of this Asapati's exploration, his sadhana, his yoga, because almost it contains book 2, it is contains around 15 cantos. So we are on right now, we are on the 12th, very 12th. And the Sri Aurobindo course tries to explain always the ideal beckoned from afar. Just imagine how gloriously it has been glorified. Always the ideal beckoned from afar, awakened by the touch of the unseen. Awakened by the touch of the unseen, the ideal beckoned from afar. Deserting the boundary of things achieved, aspired the strong discoverer, tireless thought, revealing at each step the luminous world. Revealing at each step a luminous world. It is getting concealed, so it has to be, it is getting revealed. Again, it left known summits for the unknown peaks. It left known summits for the unknown peaks. Impassioned, it sought the lone, unrealized truth. Initially, we have seen strong discoverer, tireless thought, and things achieved, boundary of things achieved, a touch of the unseen, ideal beckoned from afar. And here also we can find it sought the lone unrealized truth. It longed for the light that knows not death and birth. Longed for the light that knows not death and birth. Each stage of the soul's remote ascent was built into a constant heaven felt always here. Constant heaven felt always here. That is the speciality, that is the specification. Again, during the course, at each phase of the journey marvelous, each phase of the journey marvelous, a new degree of wonder and of bliss. A new rung formed in being's mighty stair. Everything is newness. You can find a journey marvelous, a new degree of wonder and of bliss, a new rung formed in being's mighty stair, a greater wise step trembling with the jeweled fire, as if a burning spirit quivered there. So just imagine upholding his flame, the immobile hope. Again, there is a beautiful comparison. As if a radiant God had given his soul. Just to imagine how the image has been utilized by Sri Aurobindo. As if a radiant God had given his soul that he might feel the tread of pilgrim feet mounting in haste to the eternal's house. So, again, Sri Aurobindo quotes here. The heavens of the ideal mind were seen in a blue lucency of dreaming space, like strips of brilliant sky. That another comparison and imagery, like strips of brilliant sky clinging to the moon, with the at the either end of each effulgent stare. Again, a glory of sunrise breaking on the soul. A glory of sunrise breaking on the soul in a tremulous rapture of the heart's insight and the spontaneous bliss that beauty gives. The lovely kingdoms of the deathless rose. Just imagine how great description is there. The lovely kingdoms of the deathless rose, above the spirit cast in mortal sense. Above the spirit cast in mortal sense, the lovely kingdom of the deathless pass rose are superconscious realms of, again, above the kingdom, the lonely kingdoms of the deathless rose. Above the spirit cast in mortal sense are superconscious realms of heavenly peace. So everything is heavenly, everything is superconscious, everything is free. Just imagine how this will be a great below. And below, above the spirit, and that time simultaneously below what we can see, the inconscient sullen dim abyss. Yeah, above heaven, below abyss, and between, behind our life, the deathless roads. So we are going to have a little feeling and how it has been described and how it has been summarized, because it is the as we know, this is the period, this is the session of Savitri summarization. So we'll go a little bit into the summarization in brief. Of course, summarization, there is nothing to describe in a very more descriptive way. So nothing is here to enlarge, only briefing the things. This is the topic, this is the constant ideal for us, ideology. That is, of course, the mission. Awakened thought leaves the boundaries of the known to scale to the peaks of the unknown. From known to the peaks of the unknown. That is the awakened thought is traveling. Again, it longed for the unrealized truth, the truth that is unrealized, it longs for. The light that is above birth and death, the light, unrealized truth, and the light that is above birth and death. Already we have seen, we have studied couple of lines in the very first very beginning of the discussion. Each stage of its ascent reveals a new world of wonder and bliss, new world of wonder and bliss that has to be revealed. And of course, this ascent reveals, etc., everything. Against during the course, at either end of the effulgent stair, Ashwapati sees the heavens of the ideal mind. That is a beautiful, that is a glorious thing, the heavens of the ideal mind. So, you can see here, on one side are worlds of undying bliss, the kingdoms of the deathless arrows in one side. This bliss lies between the supramental realms above and the abysses of the inconscient below. Already we have seen on the above, it is actually, we can find supramental realms above, abyss below, inconscient we can see, and flows behind life through unseen and unsuspected by the suffering world. So these two already we have seen, above, below, and between. It is the rose of bliss. Just now we were finding the terms there in the course in his own wordings, in supramental wordings. It is the rose of bliss that slowly blossoms on the garden of life on earth. Just how the glorious description is there. Rose of bliss that slowly blossoms in the garden of life. Rose of bliss blossoms in the garden of life on earth as offering to the God and answering the grace of the God fulfills the object of existence and enabling life to manifest the spirit. Just imagine how it has been sequentially defined here. It is the rose of bliss, number one, slowly blossoms in the garden of life. Rose of bliss blossoming in the garden of life on earth, offering to God the and offering to God, number one, and second, answering the grace of God to fulfill the object of existence, enabling life to manifest the spirit. So great thing has been described really. Rose of bliss, garden of life, offering to God, answering the grace of God, object of existence, and enabling life to manifest the spirit. This is the purpose, and it is not only a purpose, this is the great purpose that has to be achieved, and it is on the way. Against during the quotes beautifully, all that in this higher worlds of sweetness, and the bliss. So this is the higher world of sweetness and bliss is there, incipient of mortal life. It is there, it is already there, it exists, it captures, it contains. So the awakens and grows, it awakens and grows by the touch of the divine. So with the touch of the divine there is awakening and there is growth. And breathe which visits the earth time and again. So this is there is awakening, there is growth with the touch of the divine, we can find in a very interesting way. So let us quote few lines from Sri Aurobindo's original writing Savitri. That is a great thing we can achieve here. Because even though this canto, it seems to be a very smaller one, but actually it contains a lot of things here in the course. A body of the cosmic beauty and joy, unseen, unguessed by the blind, suffering world. A body of cosmic beauty and joy, unseen, unguessed by the blind, suffering world. Again, we can find after little letter, we can see the world is turned into a temple ground. The world is turned into a temple ground, and all discloses the unknown beyond. All discloses the unknown beyond, that is not yet known, disclosed. It is actually disclosed. Against your in the quotes, in an outburst of heavenly joy and age, of the heavenly joy and age, life yields to the divinity within and gives the rapture offering to the all. Just imagine how, just now we were discussing the purpose of life, rose of splendor, offering to the life, the manifestation of the spirit. That way we were just discussing. And the soul opens to felicity. And life yields to the divinity within, again gives to the rapture offering of its all, and the soul opens to felicity. So again, a bliss is felt that never can wholly cease. A bliss is felt that never can wholly cease, a sudden mystery of secret grace, flowers goldening our earth of red desire. Our earth of red desire, all high gods who hid their messages from the soiled passionate ritual of our hopes, reveal their names and their undying powers. So things were concealed, things were hidden, now it is coming to the fore, and of course they are revealed. A fiery stillness wakes the slumbering cell. Snail's condition is slumbering. A fiery stillness wakes them. A passion of the flesh becoming spirit, and marvelously is fulfilled at last the miracle for which our life was, where life was made. So again we can find the radiant limbs that know not birth and death. Just now we were seeing in the very index of the discussion, the radiant limbs that know not birth and death, the breast that suckle the firstborn of the sun, the wings that crowd thoughts ardent still silences. Just imagine how that is. The breasts that suckle the firstborn of the sun, the wings that crowd thoughts ardent silences, the eyes that look into the spiritual space. Against your in the quotes beautifully that already I have quoted. You can find brilliant lines, and of course on remarkable, very remarkable lines here in Savitri, in this canto particularly. Our hidden centers of celestial force, hidden. Our hidden centers of celestial force open like flowers to a heavenly atmosphere. Open like flowers, as it flowers from the from the bud. Opens like flower to a heavenly atmosphere. Mind possessed filled with the supernal ray, and even this transient body can feel ideal flow and ideal love and flawless happiness. Again, later we can say it. There is a secrecy of the house of flame. There is the secrecy of the house of flame, the blaze of godlike thought and the golden bliss, the rapt idealism of a heavenly sense. It can be there. There are wonderful voices, the sun laugh, a gurgling ready in rivers of God's joy. And later we can see times sunflowers gaze at gold eternity. Times sunflowers gaze, you can know sunflower, it is gazing towards the sun. So here also there is a same way it has been described magnificently by our Lord. Times sunflowers gaze at gold eternity, there are imperishable beatitudes, a million lotuses showing on one stem. Already we know only in one step we can find one, but here a million lotuses in showing in one stem. World after colored and ecstatic world climbs towards some far unseen epiphany. Worlds after colored and ecstatic world climbs towards some far unseen epiphany. That glorious description you see. Later we can also find. So, out of the sorrow and the darkness of the world, out of the depths where life and thought are tombed and tombed, out of the sorrow and the darkness of the world, out of the depths where life and thought are tombed, lonely mounts up to heaven the deathless flame. Lonely mounts up to heaven the deathless flame. So it is there. Humanity, it's still in the quotes beautifully. Once kindled, never can its flaming cease, a fire along the mystic paths of time. So we can found here its peace, the souls of dedicated gods, humanity, it's a house of sacrifice. That glorious definition, although it seems almost unknown to us, we are not actually moved because we don't know what really is there, but the thing is really there. Anyway, we'll go for the next page of discussion, and we'll see the great ideal realm, heavens of the ideal, how it has been glorified later. In the latter portion, in the middle portion, we'll see rather how it is. On the other side of the stair, great realms of luminous knowledge, the kingdoms of the deathless flame, it is found. Okay, what are the great realms of luminous knowledge, kingdoms of the deathless form, the unquenchable flame of the knowledge mounts up in unquenchable flame of knowledge. That is a great thing. Mounts up from altar of the mind, aspiring to reach the absoluteness of the being. So, two things have been, of course, recited here. On the other side of this of the stair, actually, great realms of luminous knowledge and the kingdoms of the deathless flame, that is there. The unquenchable flame of knowledge, it mounts up from the altar of mind, aspiring to reach the absoluteness of the being, from the altar of the mind, aspiring to reach the absolutes of the being. Its worlds are of ascent are great in proportion and bright and mighty. So this is has been fantastically described here. They constantly pull the human soul upwards to their heights. Constantly there is a pull for the human soul to rise towards their heights. Their peaks point to the some distant splendor of the truth. So there is a pull on the human soul to move towards the height. The peaks point to the distant splendor of the truth infinitudes. Again, man, against here in the course, man, unaided by the strength of and the spirit of the eternal, can hardly hope to climb. No chance without an unaided effort, man, unaided by the strength and the spirit of the eternal, hardly hope to climb these heights. His knowledge, strength, and energy again. So these things, three things: knowledge, strength, and energy are too puny for the immense adventure. No adventure is can succeed except the aid of course, strength and the spirit of the eternal. With that touch, with that help, only everything is can be possible. Against here in the course, Ashwapati moves through these kingdoms of the ideal, participate their glory, but does not accept to stay under their rule. It is a glorious kingdom. He finds it is really brilliant. He finds, he enjoys, he explores, but actually not interested to stay there for long. And of course, accept their to stay under their rule. He finds that each idea, however bright and great, but a partial truth, nothing permanent, nothing fulfilled, nothing perfected. And yet, each seeks for a reign alone of the sole truth. Many are the such absolutes, each claiming to be supreme. That is the major problem. It is their glorious kingdom, but possess partial truth. Each claims they many are the absolutes in each claiming to be the supreme. There are regions indeed where they meet and joy, but each retains the separate individuality. There is separateness. So even if it is luminous, everything is there, everything is fine, soul is there, so it is there. In many ways it is a better kingdom, but thing is that there is so many separateness, separate individuality. Regions where they meet and join contain separate individuality. Many are such absolutes claiming to be supreme. So truth is partial, the ideal is not justified there. Again, we'll try to quote Sri Aurobindo few lines. Of course, not much. How Sri Aurobindo describes all these things in his own ideal description, we will find whatever we have read till now. Sri Aurobindo quotes here: A dream of the giant contours, titan lines, homes of unfallen, the illumined mind, heavens of unchanging good, pure and unborn, heights of the grandeur of truth's edgeless ray. So these are the descriptions here we can find. Sri Aurobindo quotes again. A thunder rolling mid the hills of God, tireless, severe is their tremendous voice. A thunder rolling mid the hills of God, tireless, severe is their tremendous voice, exceeding us to exceed ourselves they call, and bid us rise incessantly above. Bid us rise incessantly above. Again, far from our eager reach, those summits leap, too lofty for our mortal strength and height. It is actually, actually exploring things. Our hearts can't cleave to nor our flesh support. Our hearts can't cleave to nor our flesh support. Only the eternal strength in us can dare to attempt the immense adventure of that climb. And so this is not we don't have we are sufficiently we are not prepared. Our hearts can't cleave to nor our flesh support. Only the eternal strength can dare. Already we have seen and we have seen man's virtue a coarse spun ill-fitting dress, apparels wooden images of good, passionate and blinded, bleeding stained with mire. Again we go. Happy are the worlds that have not felt our fall. Happy are the worlds that have not felt our fall, where will is one with truth and good with power. So later we can find there is his great transparent mirror self, and there is sovereign autarky of bliss in which immortal natures have their part, heirs and co-sharers of divinity. Again, we will find towards the concluding section of the canto, we will find he through the ideal kingdoms moved at will. He, Asapati, that Lord, accepted their beauty and their greatness bore, partook the glories of their wonder fields, but passed not beyond beneath, passed nor stayed beneath the splendor rule. Their rule, already we have seen, he did not intend to stay under to and obey their rule and stay for long. All there is an intense but partial light. Intense but partial light because it is not fulfilled. In each a seraph winged high broad idea, united all knowledge by one master thought. Again, we will go. They offer to the traveler at their gates a quenchless flame or an unfading flower. So, emblem of a high kingdom's privilege, it is there, it is given, but actually he is trying to escape it. Light stood, embraced by light, fire waited fire. So we can find um, light stood embraced by light, fire waited fire, but none in the other could his body lose to find his soul in the world's single soul. So this is the difference. That is the like none in the other would his body lose to find his soul in the world's single soul. So there is separateness. There is nothing, no unity. There is separateness, as we have already seen. A mutilated, multiplied rapture of infinity. In many cases, we see and we find. A multiplied rapture of infinity, onward he passed to a diviner sphere. He can't stay, he can't obey the rule, so his destiny is fixed elsewhere. It is the point, it is the in between, he is in midst of the exploration. So he passed to a diviner sphere there, joined in a common greatness, light and bliss, all high and beautiful and desirable powers, forgetting their difference and their separate reign, became a single multitudinous whole. See, from this separateness, from this rule of law, he explores to the higher regions where actually there is multitudinous whole, and there is difference is forgotten, separateness is forgotten, all are beautiful and desirable powers. Above the parting of the roads of time, above the silence and its thousandfold word, in the immutable and inviolate truth, far from afar, united, forever united and inseparable, the radiant children of eternity dwell on the wide spirit height where all is one. So in between where he is going, there is separateness, actually there is parting, but actually when he explores above, there is he finds that ultimate oneness is there, no separateness, no gulf like this. Again I will try to quote how Sri Aurobindo has defined: above the parting of the roads of time, parting of the roads of time above the silence and its thousandfold word, silence and its thousandfold word above them, in the immutable and inviolate truth, forever united and inseparable. Forever united and inseparable, the radiant children of eternity dwelt on the wide spirit height where all are one. Forever united and inseparable. United, not separable. The who dwell, the radiant children of eternity dwell where? On the wide spirit height where all is one. So this is the great sacrifice and a great description, and finally we'll try to have a concluding one line at least we'll read, how one or two lines we'll read how this has been glorified and how that has been explained, and at the conclusion, as the part of conclusion. Ashwapati passes on to the diviner sphere. From that he passes to a diviner sphere. There all the great powers forget their difference. All the great powers forget their difference and combine in a single multitudinous whole. All the great powers forget their difference and combine in a single multitudinous whole. They are on the wide height of the spirit, and in the immutable truth, all are one. There is no separateness. Nothing is. There is no gulf. So all are happy, and all are in one in the immutable truth. And in the height of the spirit, all are one. So these last two lines I will try to quote. That is actually very much inspiring, very much touching. Actually, all inspiring line that I will try to quote. Forever in the immutable and inviolate truth, forever united and inseparable, the radiant children of eternity dwell on the wide spirit height where all is one. Anyway, this is a great description, this is a great time, this is a great achievement, and this is a great exploration. Yep, I think it is mostly touching this, touching your hearts. There is no doubt of it. Anyway, we will try to wait for the next exploration. Now it's time to close. Bande Matram.